In the first instance, I really congratulate Professor Ghanai as Dean Social Sciences and also as Head Department of History for organizing a very important seminar which speaks of syncretism in Indian history with special reference to Kashmir. A well thought of topic, and I'm sure the deliberations which will come up will be very fruitful and useful. In fact, I had jotted down something after reading a lot, but after listening to Professor Akil, it looks he has covered everything, and it was a great pleasure and great honor to listen to his extensive speech. And I must tell my students who are present over here, you are so lucky to listen to such a great reputed historian, and from his speech you could itself make it the type of research he has done, the type of readings he has done, and the way he gave the speech. And as he already said that Kashmir has nestled in the northernmost part of India, has been a melting pot of diverse cultures, religions and philosophies for centuries. Its history is a prime example of syncretism in action. ये हम सबको पता है, और हम लोग बड़े हुए हैं इसी कल्चर में, बड़े हुए हैं, यही डिफरेंट रिलीजन्स देख के हम बड़े हुए हैं, उन रिलीजन्स का हमारी पर्सनैलिटीज़ पे इफ़ेक्ट हुआ है, चाहे हमारी एज ग्रुप का हो, हमारे पेरेंट्स हो या हमारे बच्चे हो. We have been influenced by this syncretism, and Kashmir has developed. You know, Kashmir has moved forward, although seen many challenges, but those challenges has not affected this syncretism, and we have obtained that cultural diversity, religious diversity, you know, within the groups, चाहे कोई भी group हो, कोई भी culture हो, and Kashmir has moved forward. और इसमें जो हमारे सूफी सेंट्स हैं, चाहे ललदद थी, चाहे नुंद ऋषि थे या बाकी थे, उनका जो इन्फ्लुएंस है हमारे कल्चर पे, हमारे सोसाइटी पे, दैट इज़ यू नो वेरी इम्पोर्टेंट. एंड दिस इज़ अ टेस्टमेंट टू दिस syncretic heritage, you know, what I'm sure you will be talking about. Further, you know, the Mughals, who were of Persian and Central Asian origin, brought with them a rich cultural heritage. जो आपने architecture वगैरह की बात की, this influence is still visible, जैसे आपने बताया, in architecture, art, and also cuisine of Kashmir. The mystical Sufi tradition of Islam has also played a significant role in Kashmiri syncretism, जो आपने already बताया, और उसमें of course you know ललदद और हमारे नुंद ऋषि, also of Bulbul Shah, you know, helped bridge the gap between various religious communities through their teachings of love and tolerance. See, this love and tolerance is very important. That's why I say we have been brought up. हम बड़े हैं, चाहे पढ़ाई की नहीं पढ़ाई की, यूनिवर्सिटी गए नहीं गए, बट हमारे जो कल्चर में था एक लव, एक ह्यूमैनिटी, we have grown with that. Kashmiri syncretism is also evident in its language and literature. The Kashmiri language itself has borrowed from Sanskrit, Persian and Arabic, creating a unique linguistic fusion. The famous Kashmiri saint, poetess Haba Khatun, composed her verses in Persian, leaving a lasting impact on the literary traditions of the region. Moreover, the syncretic art form of Kashmir, including its traditional crafts like paper mache, shawl making, and wood carving, showcase a blending and influence from different cultures. It is essential for us to recognize the importance of preserving and celebrating the cultural diversity and syncretism that Kashmir has historically represented. In conclusion, Kashmir's history is a testament to the enduring spirit of syncretism. Its people have embraced and integrated diverse influences, fostering a unique cultural identity. As we reflect on the past, let us also look to the future and work towards preserving the rich heritage of Kashmir, ensuring that the legacy of syncretism continues to thrive in this region and beyond.
The Department of History has been established in the year 1965. Over the years, department has emerged as a vibrant center of teaching and research. The rich cultural heritage and the diversity of Kashmir has offered opportunities to the historians of the region in general and the faculty members of the department in particular to engage with and carry out research on multiple themes. Thanks to the inspiring leadership of such prominent historians like Professor Muhammad Yasin Ghazipuri, Professor Muhibbul Hasan, Professor Abdul Qayyum Rafiqi, Professor Muhammad Ishaq Khan, and Professor Muhammad Ashraf Wani, who have made significant contribution both in case of teaching and research, the department has succeeded in making its impact on the historical scholarship of South Asia. Owing to the efforts of our predecessors, the department has been able to situate the regional history in the global context. The department has conducted several national seminars, methodology workshops, besides organizing 47th Indian History Congress way back in 1986. It also maintains a heritage museum that depicts the rich cultural heritage of Kashmir. A few months back, the departmental committee has submitted a proposal to Honorable Vice Chancellor for the construction of a building for the said museum so that the rare antiques are maintained and preserved properly. The department also has a well-developed seminar library with a collection of about 10,000 references. Thanks to the efforts of our predecessors, who always preferred to purchase books from the reputed publishers of the country like Oxford, Cambridge, Permanent Black, Manohar, and Routledge, etc., and did not make any compromise on it. Till date, the department continues with the same tradition, and I am sanguine that my successors will also follow the same path. Moreover, over the years, the department has been actively pursuing the development of oral history repository. The endeavor is to bring to the frame of the history the communities who have hitherto remained hidden from history. One of our teachers, Dr. Javedul Aziz, who has been certified by Columbia University, New York, USA, to teach oral history, is presently imparting training to students and research scholars to do oral histories in different parts of Kashmir. We are also typing oral histories and narratives of senior citizens by inviting them to the department. We believe that our elders are walking libraries. Indeed, we realize that every old man or woman that dies is a library lost.
Of different cultures, different rituals, different religions, and it ultimately results into the unity in the diversity which our country is known throughout the world. So my concern is that when we talk of the syncretism, when we talk of the acculturation, it gives a feeling that we have to live in peaceful situations, we have to live in coexistence. And historically, when we go in the historical accounts, we see that the Dini Ilahi probably was the best example in Indian society about the syncretism in Indian history. When we come to our own culture, our own society in Kashmir or UT of Kashmir, we talk about the Sufism. We talk about the conversion in the Kashmir society in a peaceful and coexistence manner. And Sufism is considered as the best form of the syncretism religion at present. And we see that at present throughout the world, not in India only, the threads are being taken from the Sufism for the peaceful coexistence of the societies throughout the world. Then when it comes to our own University of Kashmir, as already talked by Professor Yusuf Saab, that ours is the very old. We have taken birth in 48, this university, and this is a department which has almost, because this university has bifurcated into Jammu and Kashmir University in 1969, and our history department has taken its birth in 1965. It is a very old department with a rich history, which a rich tradition and a vast contribution which they have given into the academic as well as the research realms in the history of University of Kashmir.
Syncretism could be sometimes misleading, but it is about coexistence of a wide diversity of people and practices and sects and cults for a peaceful community relations. And this is possible in contexts where political regimes have been responsible in terms of ensuring that accommodation and coexistence is possible among the wide diversities of people. We can't force one particular ideology, one sect, one maslak or firqa on different sets of people. Let 1,000 kinds of ideologies and practices coexist. This is what is possible through syncretism, in the sense of appropriation of different kinds of ideas coming from various different kinds of backgrounds, and making those ideas acceptable to communities of people. For that is a major concern for all societies of political regime, ensuring conditions of respectful coexistence of all the diversities. Respect also, not only peaceful compulsion-wise, but respect for communities and their beliefs and practices. And this is a long-standing tradition in a variety of Sufi practices, orders, etc. In Kashmir, we have seen in the late 14th, early 15th century, first quarter of the 15th century, Sheikh Nuruddin Rishi, Laleshwari previously. And before that, in other parts of India, Moinuddin Chishti in the 13th century, Baba Farid, Qutbuddin Mukhtar Kaki, Nizamuddin Aulia in a big way in Delhi. And wherever we go in the subcontinent, there have been a very strong tradition of Sufi practices which are deeply rooted in Islamic traditions, classical Islamic traditions, but also at the same time very, very conscious of the communities of people with whom they are engaging in the vernacular, in the language of the people, not so much as Arabic and Persian and Turkish, the three great, classical languages and wide literature in them. And Sufis were very, very well informed of that literature, but a wide variety of people would not have access to those high classical literature. So the vernacular, the languages of the people become very, very important. And it is through these languages of the people that the Sufis were able to express their ideas and make those ideas acceptable to a wide diversity of people. When they go to Bengal, they speak in Bengali. When they go to Deccan, they speak in Deccani. When they come to Kashmir, they speak in Kashmiri. Kashmiri. And Kashmiri Sufism especially has been very, very influential for the rest of India, also in relation to the political, in terms of the Sufis were, in some sense, were also referred to as Ibnul Waqt. Now, the literal meaning of Ibnul Waqt will be the opportunist. But here, Ibnul Waqt would mean that the Sufis would know the time, and the context. They were the son of the time, and therefore they will have a better idea of the time compared to, say, with due respect, compared to, say, the theologians. The theologians will, try to force their ideology, religious ideology of do's and don'ts in Islam or any religion that they would be following. Whereas a Sufi sense, Bhakti sons, gurus, when we talk about Nundrashi, we also think of Kabir, Sant Kabir. Where do we place him? And we think of Guru Nanak and a whole lot of sons and gurus who spoke at a register, devotional, popular, public, aimed at speaking to people in a language that they understand spiritually, and not so much theologically, not so much politically, because theology and politics, religion and politics, and their entanglement create difficulties. They create difficulties also for syncretism, in the sense that after a point when the dandamaru is made, that this is right, this is wrong, and you have to follow this righteous thing, etc., it becomes difficult for communities of people. So when I was preparing for this lecture, I was thinking in terms of what will be the focus which is relevant to the question of processes of religious interactions leading to syncretism, leading also to conversion. In this case, a conversion to Islam, which is a major thing. Large communities of Kashmiri people have happened through a process of Islamic acculturation, but there are also moments when conversion did happen. Bangladeshi Islam, Bengali Islam is a huge population, and they have underwent a process of Islamization through the 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th century. The rich among them would be claiming that their ancestors had come from Arabia or Central Asia or Iran, but the DNA test will show that these are all Bengali people. So for the rest of India also, for Punjab, for Deccan, where there are Muslim concentration, you'll find that the population is actually local. They have undergone a process of cultural change, religious change, and that process of Islamization perhaps has continued all the way to 19th and 20th century. We continuously see that certain new elements leading towards purification, which is also thought in terms of fundamentalism and Islamization, etc., is introduced. There's a process of fundamentalization going on. We are told that Khuda Hafiz is no longer, as appropriate as Allah Hafiz is, which is just 20-30 years old. This concept of a certain degree of Arabicization, Islamization, and insistence on adherence to the prophetic sunnah, which all of us, everyone, irrespective of communities, accept. So I was thinking about what happens when religion and politics get entangled. And this has a long history of, difficulties. Religion and politics in medieval India, 13th, 14th, 15th century, was a serious problem. And the sultans, Sultan Shamsuddin Iltutmish early in the 13th century, Alauddin Khalji late 13th, early 14th century, Muhammad Tughlaq in the second quarter of the 14th century, they were continuously handling this question of pressure from the theologians with regard to what is the Islamic content to the Sultanate that they are ruling. And therefore, there will be continuous emphasis on khutbah, sikka, manshur from the caliph in Baghdad and Cairo to show that there's a sultan who is ruling in the name of the caliph. That insistence on obey God, obey the prophet, obey those in authority amongst you, etc., is continuously emphasized. And yet it was agreed that, Shariat as we understand, as interpreted by the Sunni Hanafi ulama, cannot be entirely implemented as the politics or language of government, And therefore the sultans were continuously evolving rules and regulations relevant to their time, which were referred to in the middle of the 14th century by this famous historian and political theorist called Ziauddin Barni, who wrote his Tarikh-e-Feroz Shahi and Fatwa Jahandari, and said that, usloob or zawabit, framed by the rulers are more relevant, more possible, more applicable than a very, very strict adherence to the Shariat as interpreted by the Sunni Hanafi ulama. The rhetoric would also be that if Prophet Muhammad were to come in the 14th century Delhi Sultanate, he will not command the same kind of respect and following as he was able to do in 7th century Arabia, because the context has changed.